Prediction Markets Edge right here on the SportsGrid Network. Donnie Rightside along with Joe Raineri, and over the next half hour, all the hottest topics and a different way to invest. I'm excited about this, Joe. Are you ready to roll?
I am, Donnie. A lot of opportunities in the market for us here, and we're going to dive into a few that we like especially a lot.
No doubt about it. Let's get started right away here, Joe, in the NFL, because the hot topic at this point in the season is, of course, who's going to win an NFL championship, but also more importantly, who's going to be coaching different football teams here. Let's start with the New York Giants. And why? Why not at this point? Kevin Stefanski, John Harbaugh, Cliff Kingsbury, Mike McCarthy, all listed as opportunists to take that job for the New York Giants. But if we do look at the marketplace, the leader in the clubhouse right now is Kevin Stefanski. He's listed at a 41% chance, followed by John Harbaugh at 35%. If we just take a look at the favorites here, Joe, Stefanski or Harbaugh, in your mind, who's more likely to get that job?
This is the classic recency bias trap that we see, Donnie, in the market, because you're basically paying a brand name tax because traders see John Harbaugh, that name, right? Super Bowl winning head coach. They see him hit the market and immediately they buy. But Kevin Stefanski at 41 cents, it feels like is the insider play because the market is pricing him as the safer, potentially maybe already agreed upon option. But if you look at it, put those two together, and the market is telling you there's a 76% chance that the next coach is between one of those two guys, Donnie. So maybe a fade against maybe, let's say, Mike McCarthy at 6 cents might not be, or the field, in fact, might not be a bad hedge here as well.
Again, when you're looking to look at investment here, it is like the stock market. These things are trending and changing on a day-to-day basis. Kevin Stefanski is on a high right now where John Harbaugh, even when he was released from the Ravens, he was supposed to be the guy in line like, oh, the Giants can't miss out. He's actually down 21% on his chance just over the past day or so. The one guy that I thought was interesting, even as of yesterday, was Cliff Kingsbury. He was trading at a 10% price point here if you wanted to buy. He's down to 5% now. So just in that one day, if you invest $100 on Cliff Kingsbury, it pays back $1,667. If I had to take a no right now, it actually would be Harbaugh at 66 cents, Joe. If I look right now, a $100 investment would pay you back $152. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And yes, they want Harbaugh, but he's so much of a commodity around the rest of the NFL where you have, let's just call it 8 jobs open. I'm going to play the field and say no on John Harbaugh would get my money.
I'm with you. I mean, listen, if 76% chance they're telling you that the next coach is going to be one of those two guys, Harbaugh or Stefanski, right? If a mystery candidate comes available, like a college coach, selling the field against those two, it's high risk, Donnie, but also very high reward. And you and I both are on the same page with that risk.
Absolutely. By the way, taking a look at other markets as well, looking at Baltimore, like they just let go the guy we think might want the job in New York, and that's Mr. Harbaugh. Now they're open. Lamar Jackson is a commodity that not many teams have. So for me, when I look to hire, I want an offensive guy. The leader in the clubhouse right now for Baltimore, that's Jesse Minter at a 30% chance here. No is at 71 cents. The yes is at 30 cents. But for me, I also look, how about this? Well, Donnie, you just said Cliff Kingsbury is a good spot in New York. Well, he's at such a cheap price. You could take him at multiple outlets and still have an investment that makes sense. Kingsbury listed at 8% to be the Baltimore Ravens head coach. A $100 investment pays back at $12.50, Joe. Offense, Lamar Jackson, innovated. Give me Kingsbury there as well.
All right, listen, not a bad look, Donnie, but it's amazing to me because this one, a tale of a couple of different markets. We're seeing massive disagreements between two markets on these coaching searches right now. And I mean, let's face it, I think this is fascinating because in one side, one market there is pricing defensive continuity, right, with Jesse Minter. The other markets here, Donnie, are pricing offensive guys, Stefanski and Nagy at the top. So that's two completely different styles and the way the market sees who's going to be the next head coach here. So it's not easy to arbitrage these kinds of things. But my goodness, I mean, tell me, Who do you think, if you like Kingsbury, are they going to go offense, or are they going to stick with continuity and the known commodity and stick with the defensive side? It's fascinating.
I gotta go offense here in Baltimore because you take a look at Brian Flores, back between the 6th and the 7th of the month, Flores is trading at a 25% chance, which he's lower now. But if you look at the two leaders right now in the clubhouse, Minter is defense, Flores is defense. I can't do that. Lamar Jackson is asking for your help. Get him an offensive innovator for me. So if I actually went no, it would be on Minter. Now the no is trading at 71 cents here, so a $100 investment would pay back 141. I'm going against the defensive continuity. That will be there. Handle Lamar Jackson, keep him healthy, keep him in the pocket, and give him some offense to run. Give me an offensive guy, Joe. Come on now.
Well, I will say this, because right away what you're seeing is that two different markets are pricing two completely different front office philosophies here, Donnie, right? And I got to tell you, when the market disagrees this much, to me, it means nobody has a clue as to which direction they're going. So to your point, I think the smart money play here is to fade the favorites on both sides here and look to go down the board on maybe some of the longer shots, because uncertainty usually favors the field here.
And keep up on your social media stuff. You can get this information, a little tidbit. Somebody's flying in the meat here. Somebody has some good vibes there. These numbers are changing on a minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour basis, and make sure you keep up on that, and you could certainly be able to make a good investment. Get in, get out, get paid, Joe. That's what they call it here. Let's head out to Vegas. Who's their next head coach? Well, we certainly know it's not going to be Pete Carroll. Do you know who the favorite right now is? It's Brian Flores at a 37% chance. Then you see Clint Kubiak at 14%, and so it goes. This one is probably one of the hardest spots where I'm saying to myself, what actually makes the most sense? You don't have your quarterback yet. You figure it's probably going to be Mendoza. You don't have a very good defense, but you have a lot of cap space, Joe, and more importantly, a lot of draft capital to deal with as well.
Another one of these situations, Donnie, where we've got completely different guys and completely different philosophies across the market here, which is kind of crazy. And again, which way are they going to go? Which way do you think the organization is going to go? Are they going to be more focused on the defensive side, or are they going to be more focused on the offensive side? We've seen Mike McCarthy's name in a lot of these markets, right? Yeah. And listen, Poly market, he's very much alive, right, at 44%. But Flores is also very much alive. So it tells me that once again, Donnie, we've got conflicting markets here. One market looks like they're going defense. The other one thinks maybe offense. Another great opportunity to go, I don't think anybody has any idea which way they're going to head here. I'm looking to fade all of those guys at the top of the market.
Me too. Brian Flores, the no, 65 cents, $100 investment pays back $154. Tom Brady's running this organization. Not going to be a defensive guy, but also the Raiders have a history of hiring quirky coaches. Don't sell out. Like, what are they doing interviewing Davis Webb? Don't throw that out the window, but also keep an eye on Mike McDaniel, trading at 7 cents to the yes here, Joe. A $100 investment on McDaniel is $14.29 back. Tom Brady, as I said, is running this. I'm not going defense. It's all offense for me in this investment market here.
That's a good call, Donnie, which, listen, if you find Mike McCarthy, 44% is interesting, 44 cents, right, in Poly market, but I don't see him anywhere on Kalshi, so maybe that's a good opportunity to jump in on the yes at a really good price and compare both markets. I like McCarthy if we're going offense.
How about a cheap cup of coffee? Do you want to hang around with a $100 investment to make back $2, which pays you back $102? That's Bill Belichick to the no here. Ain't no way Bill Belichick ends up in Vegas coaching the Raiders, Joe. Give me the $2, give me a cup of coffee, and we're out the door.
I don't even think Brady likes Belichick anymore. If we're on it, I don't even, I'm with you, man. Take the free money. Take the free money, Donnie.
Same guys up for the same jobs across the league landscape. It's just the way it is. Prediction Markets Edge. We'll get you that edge and tell you exactly who you need to follow and who you need to know. We'll be right back after this short break to talk a little Cleveland football. You guessed it.
Who are we looking at? We're looking at SGA because of its availability and consistency. It's Jalen Brunson due to his usage and his leadership. It's Jaylen Brown for how they're playing. It's Cade Cunningham because Detroit's in the top of the East. The MVP talk is going to be wild, and it'll be interesting to watch. MVPs just don't dominate. They survive the season.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
The Steelers get their touchdown, and they miss the extra point. It was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Luke, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Prediction Markets Edge, Donnie Rightside and Joe Raineri right back here. More topics in the NFL to get to, Joe, which a hot spot in football is the Cleveland Browns. What do you think about that? Their next head coach is a point of discussion for us today. Jim Schwartz is actually the favorite at a 21% chance, followed by Mike McDaniel, Chris Shula, and John Harbaugh. Can you imagine, Joe? Harbaugh going from a division rival in the Baltimore Ravens over to the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, this is what we call one of these vacuum trades here, Donnie, given the fact that no candidate appears to be above 30%, right? So this means that traders are basically throwing darts here because in one market with no clear favorite, the field is always undervalued in these situations. With Jim Schwartz at 21 cents on Kalshi, he's the safe bet, right? That's a DC to head coach. He's been there. He knows this. The defense is the best part of the Browns. Where it feels like one market, like Polymarket, is betting on the splashy name, McDaniel or Flores. It feels like the 21 cents on Schwartz is the value buy for a team that could very well go for stability, especially the Browns, over a new splashy hire that they're going to have to end up firing in 2 years anyway.
Yeah, broken record, Joe, in these prediction markets for me. I'm going offense each and every time, and I'm fading the defense. Why would you make... Look, Jim Schwartz was a defensive coordinator and a head coach already. Didn't work out so well. I'm not saying he can't be another head coach, but if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I just got to restart the program. And hear me out on this one. I'm not betting Schwartz. And yesterday, at least on Kalshi, he was trading about 81% to the no. It's down to 80 cents here. But if I look at Mike McCarthy, a yes on an investment of $100, pays back $1,429. Stability is what I'm looking for. You're not going to get that flashy prize in McCarthy, but I don't think you can go wrong. McDaniel also makes some sense. I'm just looking to say, once again, I don't want Jim Schwartz to be my head coach, and that will not fire up the fan base for Cleveland. Get a good defensive coordinator, get an offensive innovator, at least an offensive head coach that can stick with it. For me, getting my money, I'm going to invest there, of course, in Mike McCarthy. Yeah, you heard that right.
Wow. Well, listen, we're talking about the Haslams here, right? So the common sense aspect of it probably goes out the window. And listen, it feels like he's firing everyone, but he has made it a point to say, I want Jim Schwartz here. So he's already kind of led you down that, yeah, he's not going anywhere. And your best player, most expensive players on the defensive side of the ball I don't know. Going to be interesting to see what the Haslams do.
They'll probably do wrong, right? Cleveland usually does wrong at this point. We'll see what happens. I'll tell you what else is wrong. Anthony Davis's trade last year, which caused general managers to get fired and fan bases to absolutely revolt. But our question today in the prediction market's edge is Anthony Davis's next team. 51% chance now trading with the Atlanta Hawks. Otherwise, stays with Dallas or retires is listed at 38%. Now, understand the caveat in this. On the rule summary, at least on Kalshi, if Anthony Davis's next team is Atlanta before February 6, 2026, then the market resolves to yes. So that's the date, February 6, 2026. For me, I'm scrolling down, Joe. I'm going Golden State, baby. 9 cents. $100 investment's going to pay me back $1,112. If not, I just think you might end up staying with Dallas at this point. But that's what Golden State. Make the move. Old player goes to an old team. Come on.
When you get a destination like Atlanta trading at 51 cents there, right? Which is basically you're saying a coin flip. Then what that usually means is that beat writers, insiders, the shams of the world, right? There are reports that Atlanta is very much in the market and has a lot of interest in him and yada, yada. But interest does not equal deal, Donnie. And that's expensive for a trade that hasn't happened, right? So if I like the stays with Dallas and retires, I think that's a pretty good hedge at 38 cents here because there is nothing guaranteed, and 51 feels like a really big price when we have absolutely no idea which way he's going to go.
How about Giannis Antetokounmpo's next team right now? Looking at the Kalshi marketplace, $1.8 million is the volume bet on this, and the favorite is stays with Milwaukee or retires. Why is that the heavy favorite? Well, we actually heard Giannis say, believe him or not, I'm not going to force a trade out of Milwaukee. If he stays or retires in Milwaukee, and once again, the caveat here will be if Giannis Antetokounmpo's next team stays with Milwaukee or retires before February 6th, then the market resolves to a yes. I don't know what that means, but if I'm going to take a flyer, it's going to be on the New York Knicks here. $100 investment pays back $2,500. I do think if he goes anywhere, he goes to the Knicks, but the question, Joe, is he actually going to leave Cleveland? I don't think he's going to retire the next 6 weeks.
86, 87% chance he stays, Donnie. I mean, this is about as unsexy a yield as you're going to get here. If you bet yes and tie up capital for a 14% return on a deadline situation here, if you have a massive bankroll, great. But as far as I'm concerned, there are way better opportunities in the market than this situation here. 86 to 87%. No, thanks. He's likely staying for a reason.
All right, Joe, you ready to have some fun with this stuff here? We dip out of the NFL and the NBA to hit some real life Americans. Will they receive their tariff stimulus checks, and when would they receive them? Didn't you like during COVID here? You got a couple checks in the mail, like, hey, man, paid me out. The question's going to be Donald Trump saying, you know what, with all this excess surplus money we have from the tariffs, why don't we give it back to the American people? Now, understand this, Joe. Coming up this election cycle, these are the midterms. These are really important. So Donald Trump probably saying, make sure you get this money to the people sooner than later might make the most sense, which the leader in the clubhouse is before 2027 ends is 32%. But for me, Joe, I'm actually taking before August because the midterm is going to happen in November. You can't give these stimulus checks out in December when you might have lost the midterms. He's got to get these checks out before the midterms, which is why I'm going before August. A yes price of 30 cents, Joe. $100 investment, $334 back in your pocket.
Well, there's a 4-cent spread between July and August, Donnie. So the market is saying if it doesn't happen by July, it's probably not happening in August either. So to me, before 2027 at 32 cents, maybe the way to look here.
By the way, we're not getting these before March, which is trading at 96 cents as the no. That'll get you $5 back. That's your cup of coffee, people. We're not getting that money that quick. Prediction, markets, edge. Donnie and Joe, we'll be right back after this short break.
Let's play a little buy or sell. I think it's pretty evident that despite being one of the best tight ends in the history of the NFL, Travis Kelce's play and physicality and everything, with all due respect, took a big step back. This was easily his worst physical season of all. He just didn't look like himself. Travis Kelce will retire after the season, buy or sell.
Yeah, I'm probably 60-40 on this that he retires. The only thing I'd say that maybe he returns is because he doesn't want to end the way it ended, not making the playoffs and that sort of thing. But let's just say for Gales and Mahomes, he isn't going to be ready for September or October. Unless they get a really good veteran quarterback, maybe he doesn't want to deal with that either. Go through a training camp and you may not make the playoffs either next year. So I'm probably 60-40. I think he's done. Too bad. Hall of Fame career. I guess good luck with Travis Swift and your podcast with Jason.
I'm buying this. Andy Reid addressing this question this week. Why? He could have just deferred and said, I don't know, we'll see. Fully answered the question about this maybe being his last game. What does that tell you? He knows. Everybody knows. I'm not 60-40, 90-10. I'm on bye. Bo Nix versus Caleb Williams. You'd rather have Nix over Caleb Williams in a dynasty league.
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go Caleb here, mainly because he has more running ability than Nix. I think he'll also stay healthier than Nix. I might like his receivers more as well. He's got a Dunze. He's got you got DJ Moore. You got the good tight ends here. Probably do lean towards Williams here. Not by a hell of a lot. It wouldn't be an easiest choice here, but I'm going to go with Caleb Williams here.
I would agree. It's not that I think that Ben Johnson is a better coach than Sean Payton. I think Ben Johnson is better for Caleb Williams than Sean Payton will be for Bo Nix. I think running is going to be a big part of what Denver does in the future. So there you go. I'll sell.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Prediction Markets Edge, Donnie Rightside and Joe Raineri having a lot of fun during this segment here, talking so many good topics, and it's getting a little bit crazy in the marketplace, Joe. Now, when you were growing up as a kid, I don't know when that was for you, Joe, 40s, 50s, or 60s at this point, you always dreamed that we could go to the moon, go to the Mars, and, maybe go to the sun. How about Elon Musk? He's talking about Starship launching humans to Mars before 2030. Joe, Mars is a long way. That's a lot of infrastructure to get people to Mars by 2030. It's actually trading at 19 cents to the yes. That seems high for me, no?
Yeah, well, first of all, Donnie, at that age growing up, I was just trying to get to the local deli for an egg sandwich, but I wasn't interested in going to Mars or any place else. But 19%, to your point, is incredibly optimistic for a Mars landing in 4 years. Not to mention that the Mars transfer window only opens up every 26 months. So we're talking about 2026 or 2028. To hit 2030, they are likely going to have just 1 or 2 shots at it. To me, the no bet at 85 cents, yes, it's a slow grind to profit.
Yes.
But the engineering hurdles that you have to make for 19 cents on yes is you're basically donating to the market makers. Don't be fooled. This is never happening.
Now, here's the problem, too. Like, it is 2026 right now. 2030 is a long time, and the rule summary is if SpaceX launches a manned Starship mission to Mars by December 31st, 2029, then the market will resolve to yes here. So if you do invest $100, your payout's $118, which, again, do the math. $18 that you have to wait for years to get back. But if I told you it was free money and you had the money to free up, maybe you would do that at this point. Never put anything past Elon Musk and what technology can do, but that seems, Joe, really quick in the process, no?
And that's the Elon Musk premium that you will you will pay in the markets with these types of situations here. Yeah, you got maybe 1 or 2 shots at it. I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
By the way, volume on Cal Sheets, that's about 25,000, so people are investing on it as we speak. You know what else is really big news? You do some Google searches from time to time. He said, well, why is Trump's name and Greenland coming up at this point? Have you checked out what the deal is? Will Trump buy at least a part of Greenland? The people want to know. The people are searching it, and the people are wagering on it here, Joe. $2.5 million of investments have already been made, at least on Kalshi. Will Trump buy at least a part of Greenland? It's actually trading currently at at 38 cents. A $100 investment would pay back $2.64. As we like to say, Joe, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And if Trump says he wants to buy something, he's probably going to make it happen.
Yeah, this is the perfect, Donnie, perception versus reality. So the perception is something is going to happen here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will Trump buy at least part? 38%, right?
Yeah.
Will he do it before 2027? 16%. So the market thinks there's a decent chance that he at least tries or signs maybe a letter of intent, right? Which, by the way, this is an important reminder, make sure you understand the rules that you're betting into, because if he signs a letter of intent, will that trigger the part contract of your bet, or is there a very low chance that maybe a sovereign land deal actually closes quickly? I don't think they do. These kinds of deals, Donnie, these purchases take decades, not months. So 38 cents is, that is just total fiction pricing here. I don't see it happening, not within these parameters. So understand what the rules are before you make these and place these contracts.
Read the fine print as well, because it also says we buy at least a part of Greenland. He could do one of those, I bought a small town on Greenland, and you would cash in this ticket. And also understand this, in the marketplace, Joe, look, Trump's always trying to make a deal. We started at $10,000 for every citizen of Greenland, and now it's up to $100,000. Hey, if he increases that to $150,000, it might be an automatic at this point right now. I wouldn't put it past Trump buying at least part of Greenland. I would invest in, say, the yes at 38 cents, Joe. I would.
Well, and again, if he signs a letter of intent, right, and then says, we're doing it, does that trigger the part of the contract where you say, will he buy part? All right, well, if he puts a letter of intent down, is that under the rule? Can we cash out if that's the case? So, figure out exactly what the parameters are that you're working around here.
How about this? You always want to get a look at the place you're trying to buy. Well, Trump visit Greenland by March 31st. A 24% chance here. A $100 wager, at least on Polymarket, pays back $380. Before March 31st, Trump loves to fly around on Air Force One. I'm saying yes at this point. I'm not fading it. Give me the yes on that.
I would imagine that, yes, there has to be a trip before any sort of deal is negotiated or done there. I'm with you, Donnie.
Prediction Markets Edge. Donnie Rightside, Joe Raineri. It's what we do. A lot of fun, a lot of topics. Get in, get out, and get paid. Until next time, we'll see you then.
When did we become, so bitter that we can't accept another man's apology? We make mistakes all the time. And as a grown man, you have to say, I'm sorry every once in a while. And it's okay to say that. And the apology, I think, should be accepted. And in this case, I'm accepting it.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
When you look at this NBA Cup, you have to think about the importance. As a coach, I find a lot of importance. This wasn't a gimmick win. The Knicks earned it the hard way. And it matters in April as Mike Brown continues to build that culture in New York. And now, in my opinion, the Knicks are legit contenders to win the NBA title.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they couldn't get the Arizona State coach to come out. They couldn't get the BYU coach to leave their job. I mean, it's just very odd, I feel, when we watch this whole thing play out and try and really understand what happened here with Michigan not being able to make some of the splashier hires that they thought they were going to be able to make.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
They have by far the highest ceiling out of any team in the league. Elite talent, NBA shot making, versatility, and the best coach in the league in John Shire. They can beat you in multiple ways. Half court, full court, run and gun, walk it up. And they out-execute you, maybe except for that game versus Texas Tech.
College basketball today. Only on